We're here at your private collection in the heart of Granbury on the Square. This month we're featuring Polly Gessell, who's one of the most sought-after glass artists in the United States. We're happy to feature her art at our shop and also sell some of the most wonderful pieces like this awesome cross here. We sell big pieces and, little pieces too. She caters to any need that you have. And I'd like to invite you now to join me while Polly and I explain to you how all of our wonderful art is created. Thank you. I'm here with Polly Gessell, and she is the glass artist that we are featuring this month. And we are so proud to have somebody as talented as Polly. And we're going to have her explain today how not only her process is created, but some of the various ranges of pieces that she does, going from unique, detailed, small pieces to very large commercial jobs. Polly, can you tell us about that?
Yes, we are in the home of a very dear friend of mine who has been for many years my guinea pig. So she has probably the best selection of pieces that range from very tiny all the way up to her front door and her shower door. And if you want to focus on the table here, you can see a lot of different carving techniques. And really, this is how I build my vocabulary. I experiment on little pieces. Here, may I hold that for you?
Yes, please. I just want them to see how wonderful.
There's a lot of detail in a very little amount of space. And tell me when I can turn it.
Okay.
And then on each side, there's more design. And on each end, there's a little dog on that end and a bird on that end. So wherever you turn these things, there's something of interest to see.
Great. And look how intricate this cross is.
Yeah, the crosses there are never any two that are the same, ever. Everyone is unique. That's pretty much true of every piece I do, unless requested to make something that is a numbered item. But it keeps me from boredom.
And Polly does all of her drawings and creations herself, and they're just amazing.
And they're all hand cut.
Oh.
So there isn't any machine work other than me holding the sandblaster. And if you'll follow me into the kitchen.
Wow, look at this.
This is a table that was in their rec room for many years, and they just have redone the kitchen family area. And it has moved up in its status and height to become the family breakfast table.
What a great idea. So you can actually take something that you already have and turn it into something completely different.
Correct. And the base on this was made by another artist, Wally Dean. And he created something especially for this table. And the Gilmores are so happy with this piece.
Yeah, we also have two of Polly's wonderful tables at our shop, and Wallace Dean was also the creator of the bases on those. But we're at Polly Gessell's studio, where all of the wonderful pieces are created, and no one really understands how much work goes into these pieces. And she's going to tell us a little bit about, or a lot about it actually, how they're created.
And we've got wonderful examples here because this one is in its beginning stages. This has been in the booth and has been blasted, and it's in progress. You take a piece of glass, you cover it with a green resist that's adhesive on one side, draw your design on with ballpoint pen, which withstands the heat of the blast and does not melt away. And then when you've finished your drawing, you essentially draw it again, but this time with an X-Acto knife, making sure that every line is cut before you go in the sandblast booth, so that all you have to do is peel pieces that are already cut as you're blasting. And you begin with what you want to be deepest first and work backwards until you airbrush the last bit. And basically that's it.
Basically that's it, yeah. You can see how
it's really very simple but it's a lot of stages.
Yeah, it's a lot of stages, and it's very simple, but the way that Polly does it, how long have you been doing this, Polly?
30 years.
30 years. And what was the first big job that you had doing?
With Aetna Life Insurance.
Oh, yeah?
And an architect friend of mine recommended me, and I did 150 glass blocks, and I don't think I'd be likely to turn the same kind of work out today. It was not my best hour.
Oh. Polly's also done pieces for American Airlines, the Venetian in Vegas, all the Mary Kay desktops in the front of her building.
Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah, all of his restaurants.
Most of his restaurants, not all, but most.
Okay. Spago's is one of those, and Stephen Pyle's restaurant.
Yep.
Awkward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky.
Yes. She's very, very, very good, and we are very blessed to have her in our gallery. And so we're also going to walk over here.
This is for my eye doctor.
Oh, wow.
And it's a present. And these are eyeglasses.
Oh!
See? Here's the little nose piece.
Yes! Wow, look at the drawing and how intricate that is.
It's going to be really, really fun. And it'll be highly textured.
Actually cuts out every little bitty circle that you're seeing in this piece. It's just crazy.
On one window in California in a restaurant in Malibu, I cut 10,000 circles one time.
10,000 circles?
In one window.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be a tabletop. Here we are at Polly's booth, where whenever she says blasting, she actually means sand blasting.
That's correct.
And we're not able to show it because we would be etching the lens of this camera. So she's going to go, and tell us about exactly what she has to do to go through the process of creating her pieces. She's already told us about getting up to the stages before she gets into the booth, which was the putting the butter cut on and shielding the glass and drawing and cutting. So I'm going to let her tell you about.
And when I bring the piece of glass in the booth, it either goes on a very large rack or I have a smaller wooden easel upon which most of the time I chew the wood up on the easel. And it's so beautiful when it's all chewed up, but it all has to be rebuilt every few months to handle the glass. And the floor is covered, as you can see, in metal. And these are templates that I shoot through at high pressure and low pressure. And of course, to protect me, I put a helmet on that has breathable air coming into it. And then change these face masks periodically, depending on the pressure that I'm using. The sand goes in this canister that you see on the floor. And it's reusable. It's aluminum oxide. You pour it in, turn the pressure on, pull the damper up, and it seals itself, and it holds 50 pounds. So basically, it is a very simple procedure. It's very painstaking, and it takes a lot of patience, but it's not rocket science.
What is the little tip look like? Do you use different tips, or do you?
I do use different tips, and the one that's on there right now is relatively small, and I can go all the way up to things that are, there's not a huge one in here, but actually things that would be about that big.
Wow. So what kind of effect does that give?
This gives overall blast.
Yeah.
And it's a huge spray, and I would use it if I were covering something for privacy with nothing but sandblasting.
Right. And
no real artwork.
Right.
The smaller nozzles are for the delicacy of the artwork.
Okay. And these are some of the little stencils.
Yes. And this is a bracelet, for instance, that I found in our import area in Dallas, and I'll bring it back and pound it flat with a rubber mallet. And I just have more fun. I get my jewelry kick, and I don't wear it, I blast through it.
So you get the cool little design.
Exactly. And I get to go buy jewelry, which is so much fun.
Oh, yeah. And
here's a piece that I love.
That's a neat
Isn't that a lovely piece?
Yeah, we need to see it.
And I will hold things through, for instance, this, and then I will shoot that and I'll have a really pretty circle with a band through the middle.
Oh, awesome.
And that's how a lot of the texturing happens.
Oh, great.
And that's it.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Polly.
Thank you so much.
It's not exactly something you just go right out and do, but but that makes it all the better to collect some of Polly Gessell's pieces.